Hey everybody, welcome back to Horror Trans. My name is Stephanie Bree. I'm a transgender woman, and I talk about all things horror in this episode of the Horror Trans podcast, which I'm recording on Monday, April the 15th, tax day in the U.S. Eek! That's a scary holiday. Oh no. But also, uh, heads up, this video might not come out until Tuesday or Wednesday of this week because of technical issues. Either my laptop is dying or my ISP is throttling us. I can't figure out what the kink is in my machine, in my uploads, but uploads are going slow right now. If you'll notice, it took me like almost 4 days to get last week's videos out. So I recorded everything last night, Sunday night, and early Monday morning, so they're ready to go. I'll start uploading soon, but just a heads up. So videos are coming late this week. I do apologize for that. Hopefully I don't have internet issues today, but it's not looking promising. Anyways, so what have I watched recently? Well, I'm still watching TMNT, the TV show. And last Wednesday, I should say, I watched Creepshow and Lisa Frankenstein. I've already uploaded my Lisa Frankenstein review, which I have to remind people, I actually thought the movie was pretty cool in some respects. I nitpicked the hell out of it at the top of that video, but go watch it if you want to get my full in-depth thoughts. But yeah, I was a little nitpicky. And then my review of Creepshow should be coming, today or tomorrow. So theoretically, it'll be out before this video. But I can't guarantee that because I don't know how my internet's going to, my uploads are going to go. So hopefully the review is out by the time you watch this. But if not, it'll be out shortly after. Or, everything should be up by Wednesday of this week, theoretically. But fingers crossed. I got a lot of news and rumors this week and a couple of trailers to get through, so let's jump right in. Let's start with, we got Bloody Disgusting reporting Blumhouse and Lionsgate join forces for brand new The Blair Witch Project movie. 25 years after the release of the original film, I'm not using the adjectives they used, because, anyways, announced at CinemaCon they will partner on the development and production of a new Blair Witch Project movie as the first film in a multi-picture pact with Blumhouse reimagining horror classics from the Lionsgate library. That sounds interesting. That sounds more interesting to me than another Blair Witch movie, but let me read on. Based at Universal Pictures, where it has a first-look deal, Blumhouse is the gold standard in horror, blah, blah, blah. Talks about their blockbusters. A lot of patting themselves on the back, which they deserve. And that's about it. They don't really say what other films are coming. But Blair Witch, there you go. If you're interested in that, there's a new project in the works. It doesn't say if it's a sequel or a reboot. But something new coming. So there you go if you're interested in that. Alright, this one is, the page isn't loading. It just says the site can't be reached. So, once again, internet technical issues strike again, but give me 1 second. So this one, I should have reported it last week, but it wasn't on any of the home pages of the sites I usually go to, so I had to go to Google and I found it on Variety. You've probably already heard the news by now. It is sad news. Chance Perdomo passed away in a motorcycle accident. As a horror fan, you probably remember him from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. He was a big member of that cast. He was Ambrose Spellman. The guy who was, I guess, cursed to live in their house and be their butler or something like that. So, unfortunately, he passed away in a motorcycle accident. It looks like he was 27 years old, so a young dude still. Holy crap. So that's unfortunate. I should have probably talked about it last week, and I didn't, because it wasn't on the home pages of any of the new horror sites I go to, and it just slipped my mind. I was going to talk about it, but unfortunately, I goofed. I didn't look hard enough, and I was a little disheveled last week, so I apologize for that. Rest in peace, buddy, and condolences to your family and the horror community. He seemed like a good man. Alright, coming from JoBlo.com, 28 years, they have an article, 28 years later, everything we know about the sequel trilogy. So this is just what they've got, what they're reporting. Production, behind the scenes work began in 2009. 28 years later is going to come after. It is sort of a replacement to a project 28 months later that didn't happen. Allegedly, according to them, the first sequel didn't make a lot of money for the studio. That's why the new sequel has been on hold. They're reporting Alex Garland is expected to write the scripts for all 3 of the 28 years later movies. Why are they planning a trilogy when they don't know if there's a market for this? This seems odd to me. But whatever. It's that according to their article, they want to have a director attached to produce the sequel before they start filming the first one, which is, again, why are you rushing, a trilogy into production when this movie could fucking bomb? Anyways, I don't know. I'm not going to read the list. You can read it. It's at JoBlo.com. I thought this is interesting. God damn it. Also from JoBlo.com. Rob Zombie is working on a book about the making of House of a Thousand Corpses. The 20th anniversary of House of a Thousand Corpses came and went last year. Zombie today says he's celebrating the 21st anniversary by working on a book about the making of it. He has also shared multiple behind-the-scenes images. Those are in this article. Zombie wrote, to celebrate the 21st anniversary of how being released, I thought I would give you a sneak peek at the House of a Thousand Corpses book that I have been working on. This thing is packed with rare photos, blueprints, storyboards, makeup tests, and my original script, with all my handwritten notes and sketches. So much stuff for all you corpse heads coming your way soon. Zombie has described the first movie as, quote, a calamitous mess. Last year, author Dustin McNeil released a book called House of Rejects, which covered the making of 1,000 Corpses and its follow-ups, The Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell. The films that make up Zombie's Firefly trilogy, blah, blah, blah. Unrelated. But anyways, there's a book coming if you're interested in that. Also, this was on JoBlo.com. Alien Romulus brings plenty of blood and gore and practical effects and footage screened at CinemaCon. Blah, blah, blah. The film is set to release August 16th. Alright. This is just sort of talking about the footage. Let's see if this video will play. If it does, we'll see what it looks like. turn it down a little bit so we don't get Disney suing us. Or JoBlo for using their footage, watching their footage. Reactions from CinemaCon. Nope, that's not a trailer. Alright, so I don't want to watch that video. I thought maybe it was a trailer. That's going to be their footage. I don't need to see that. I don't need to share that. You can go watch it. Smile 2, also from JoBlo. Most of these stories are coming from JoBlo, by the way. Smile 2 teaser trailer was shown at CinemaCon. So, I'm going to see if maybe this will load. Let's see if I can get this to load. Having some internet issues right now. Nope. Here we go. I think this is the same video. This isn't the trailer.
Lance Velchuk back here for Joe.
Alright, so I thought this was the trailer. Why would you advertise the trailer in your article and not share the link to the trailer? That's shitty reporting. Fuck you. I'm not reading the other stories from his website. I think I'm going to blacklist him. Don't do that. Don't do what he just... Don't fucking do that. That's scummy. Coming from Fangoria... I don't usually bring up Fangoria, but here's an article from them. It says IFC Center hosting Shadows of Change event celebrating women in horror. Programmed by The Future of Films is Female, the event will screen 8 horror films from the landmark year of 2014. March 29th to April 4th is Shadows of Change, Women in Horror. Okay, so this is already old news. This is past. So, whoops. Should have read the link before I brought it up. Alright, this one's coming from scaretissue.com, excuse me. And it says, Bikers vs. Werewolves stars Jake Busey, Glenn Plumer, Michael Pear, James Duval, and Robert Lasorda. And here's the official teaser trailer. So let's go ahead and watch the trailer. Maybe this website knows what the fuck they're doing. Get a little volume.
Can't you smell it in the air? That tenseness, like all hell's about to break loose? Sheriff, your town is on the brink of extinction. You want me to drink? Silver bullets. You deal with forces you know nothing about. How about some meat? Anybody else want to play? Where do you think you're going? I'm going on.
This definitely looks low budget. Looks like it was shot on video, not film. Maybe that was intentional. Alright, that was not good graphics. Good special effects. That looked like a guy in a styrofoam suit. Alright, there you go. This is an upcoming horror film, action film, Bikers vs. Werewolves. Excuse me. God, I can't talk today. There's an Indiegogo campaign if you want to join the funding for this. They're trying to finish the film, so... Alright, that looks like it'll satisfy the B-movie schlocky itch for those who, need to see bikers take on werewolves. So there you go. Also coming from Scare Tissue, it says, The Snowman Cometh in Supernatural Horror Himalaya. Ghost Machine Pictures is releasing a cryptid adventure called Himalaya. The low-budget, high-altitude horror exploring snowy mystery never fully explored. Is there a Yeti living in the Himalayas? Written and directed by Emmy Award winner Brandon Walker. The film stars Akihiro Kitamura from The Human Centipede, Jesse Lenoir, Wild West Chronicles, Robert Palmer Watkins, The Walking Dead, World Beyond, Ashley Park from Rosewood, and Shoko Rice, Call Me Emmanuel. Alright. Team of experts search for the mythical snow ghost, a primitive creature the locals worship in fear. On the frigid peaks above, cryptozoologist Yuma Sato climbs inside a newly discovered Ice Cave, his mission, make the discovery of a lifetime in front of an eager online audience. He uncovers unexpected horrors. Could it be an internet hoax? Blah, blah, blah. Himalaya. Ghost Machine Pictures is a boutique film studio specializing in paranormal horror. Their 2023 release, Ghosts of Hiroshima, reaffirmed the company's commitment to high-concept feature films. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so there's no trailer to watch, but there you go. That's all I have today because I had... Joe Blow pissed me off and I didn't want to read any more of his news. So, eat shit, Joe Blow. Could have got most of those articles from Bloody Disgusting anyways. Alright. So, that's news and rumors. What do we have for topics? Well, let's start off with the big one. The main topic of this video is going to be facing your personal fears through horror. I read an article or a tweet somewhere within the last week or two that the filmmaker who made that new spider-centric horror film that's making the rounds right now, I can't remember what it's called, is actually arachnophobic, and he made a film about spiders to face his fears, allegedly, according to what I read. And this got me to thinking, because there are certain types of movies I avoid. Notably, I'm hesitant to watch haunted house movies, especially ones that claim to be based on true stories, like The Conjuring or the Amityville Horror and things like that. I'll watch them, but I'm very hesitant. I'm very hesitant to watch movies with ceramic dolls. I actually refuse to watch movies with ceramic dolls. Now, marionettes, Cabbage Patch dolls, which is more or less what Chucky is, I guess. Puppet Master, like I said, marionettes, puppets, ventriloquist dummies, things like that. I'll go in with trepidation, but I'll watch them because I'm terrified of dolls, specifically ventriloquist dummies, marionettes, Muppets. Yes, I am afraid of Muppets, and I'm afraid of animatronics and ceramic dolls. They terrify the shit out of me in real life. I don't go to I will never eat at Chuck E. Cheese. Oh God, no, fuck you. And I refuse to watch Five Nights at Freddy's on the basis of that, because I know if I watch that movie, I'm going to have a stroke or a heart attack or probably not survive. I'm not going to get through it, so why even put myself through that kind of torment? This is the same reason why I will not rewatch Arachnophobia, and I'm not watching any of these Nightmares films that are coming out this year about spiders, because why the fuck would I? But there are some fears I will face through horror movies. One of them is clowns. I am deathly terrified of clowns in real life. I do not go to the circus. I don't go to places where there are clowns. When I was working for the local newspaper and I had to interview the clown in person, because the clown is also the PR spokesperson for the circus, because that's what clowns are. They're the face of the circus. I had to sit a few feet away from my interviewee, and I had to ask them, please respect my boundaries. I'm here to interview you, but I am afraid of clowns, so let's keep this professional, and they did respect that. But that was a very hard interview to get through, because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to run screaming if I don't get through this interview and get back to the news office, like, right the fuck now. But I enjoyed Terrifier and Art the Clown, and I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space, even though the title alone should give me anxiety. Now, I've talked about this a bunch. My favorite films, horror films, tend to be, not always, but usually, are slashers. Now, I do occasionally like a good supernatural horror film. Now, I'm a little iffy on the ones involving witchcraft or pagans, because people, especially Hollywood, tend to associate paganism and witchcraft with devil worship, And anytime I see that in a film, it pisses me off because pagans do not worship the goddamn devil. Pagans don't even fucking believe in the devil. We don't. That's a Christian concept. Pagans aren't Christian. Pagans are a whole different, entirely unrelated religion. And they are a perfectly valid, legitimate religion. So it pisses me off whenever Hollywood makes a film about paganism and they're always depicted as devil worshippers when pagans don't even believe in the devil. They don't recognize the devil's existence. As far as they're concerned, there is no such thing as the devil. They don't even talk about the devil. There is no devil. So we don't worship the goddamn devil. Witchcraft is also one that I have trouble with because of the same thing. Witches tend to also not believe in the devil because most witches are either Wiccans, which is a form of paganism, other branches of paganism, neo-paganism, heathenism, or whatever. So practicing witches, I should say, they don't believe in the devil either. But there are some branches of witchcraft that do. There are Christian witches who believe in the devil, who worship the devil. But there's such a small subset of actual witchcraft that, if you're going to make your witch a devil worshiper by default, shame on you. Do some research. Add some fucking variety in your goddamn witches. Especially if you're going to make it obvious that they're Wiccan or pagan, then don't even talk about the goddamn devil. There is no devil. So let's just fucking stop with that shit. So I do have a hard time watching movies about witches or witchcraft because that's usually always how it goes. Sometimes I'll watch a movie like The Exorcist. It's like, alright, that's fine. That's what Christians believe, whatever. Now, demon possession movies do tend to scare me a little bit for different reasons. But, again, it's complicated, right? Alright, so, I'm one who doesn't like to watch movies, by and large, that are going to trigger my phobias. I am very nervous about watching The Descent because I'm very claustrophobic. I have a hard time with movies that have a claustrophobic atmosphere. Especially movies that take place in a single set, and if it's a very tight space, I'm just like, get me out of this movie right now. I can't do this. Can you or should you face your fears through horror movies? That's a good question. Let's talk. Why am I able to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or Art the Clown, or Pennywise's It, or It's Pennywise, I should say, and not, cry myself to sleep for the next 3 days? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, actually, I asked on your behalf. I know what you're thinking. I read the comments, the snarky-ass comments. By the way, don't stop leaving snarky comments. I'll reply where I have something to say, but if I don't reply to you, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's just because maybe I agreed with what you said, and I'll click a like, but I don't have anything to add to it, so don't take it personal if I don't reply to you. I have 3 YouTube channels, and I have a blog, and Twitter, where I have lots of followers on Twitter, and I have a life and a job and, a girlfriend and friends and, hobbies. So I can't just sit and respond to comments all day long. So I do my best, but I'm also nuking trolls a lot of the time in the comments because don't be a troll, alright? Just don't. God damn it. You're gonna get nuked. So don't even waste your fucking time. Assholes. Anyways, so clowns. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I honestly don't know why I'm able to watch horror movies with clowns in them when I'm terrified of clowns. For some reason, now I did find It scary. Yes, I did. Absolutely. I didn't find Terrifier that scary. Art the Clown, I should say. I didn't find Captain Spaulding that scary. He was just kind of interesting, kind of cool as a character. I was like, alright, show me more. And the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, well, they're basically mutant aliens that are using clown motifs for their kills, I guess. But I don't know if I would really say they're actually clowns. You know, they're space aliens dressed up like clowns. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I won't watch movies with spiders in them. And I'm hesitant to watch movies that are going to have dolls or marionettes. Now, I can get through Chucky just fine, Puppet Master fine. But as I've already done a video on the movies I'll never review, Dead Silence is at the top of that list. I just don't think I'm going to get through it, and I know I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm on the fence whether or not I'll even actually watch the Annabelle films, to tell you the truth. There's a high probability I don't. So we'll see. Moving on. Horror movie soundtracks and scores. How important are they? So, you have two things. You have soundtracks, as in, the score, the background music playing in the movie, right? This is the composer, whoever they are, making music for the movie to set the tone of the images on screen, or some sound designer or music producer or somebody picking songs from wherever, the music catalog from wherever, that they think fit the tone and mood of the movie as well, so they just plug them in. Sometimes there's like licensing agreements or deals or whatever, sponsorships, co-sponsorships, etc. There's all kinds of reasons why a song will turn up in a movie. Now, the second aspect to this is the OST, the CD or record or tape or whatever, Spotify playlist that you can buy or get off of iTunes or whatever, that collects all the sounds from the film and arranges them as they appear in the film. But exactly how important are they to horror? Specifically, I think soundtracks and scores, I think the music, the background music, as we'll refer to it as, can be make or break for a film. Sometimes sometimes the score can make a horror movie better, regardless of mediocrity or quality of the film. The prime example that I like to use is Halloween. If it didn't have that score by John Carpenter, that movie would not be a fucking thing today. It would be like fucking Bloody Birthday. It would be a movie that only nerds know about, horror nerds. And no one would be fucking talking about Michael Myers. But the music made the movie. So yeah, that's a prime example. But sometimes the music works against the movie. The example I like to point to that is Friday the 13th Part 3, whereas the disco track at the beginning of the movie is pretty jamming. The rest of the movie's music is pretty boring. It's just like beats you've already heard before, from other Friday the 13th films. They're just basically recycling the same musical cues. And let's be honest, they weren't that good to begin with. They're not that memorable. So I guess it goes both ways. I think movie soundtracks are important. I feel like I've talked about this before. I don't know why I put this on my list. I feel like I have talked about this before. Now, OSTs, original soundtracks, the album that you buy on whatever format you buy it on, digital, whatever, are hit or miss, especially in the horror film franchise, in the horror genre. A lot of times you get variations of the background incidental music that is played throughout the film. Usually the tracks are titled to cue you up to whose theme or what was happening on screen when that theme was playing, so you can remember back to that part of the movie when you're listening to it. But unless you're like a tremendous fan of the movie and you've seen it 100 times, It's just a lot of times it's just going to be violins and pianos and shit. And you're like, are you really going to sit here and listen to classical music just because some low budget horror film used this classical music in its score? No, I don't think so. But then occasionally you get like pop songs and rock songs and the like, hip hop songs, etc., from the time period. And so a lot of horror movie soundtracks can be time capsules for when they were released. So when the soundtrack includes this type of music, and the movie as well did, it can be a little bit more enjoyable of an experience. An example I'm going to use is Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. That movie blows donkey dick. But the soundtrack is pretty rockin'. So what are you going to do? I don't know. Moving on. I've had this one on the list for a while, but I still feel like I've talked about it before. But we'll dive into it, why not? Maybe I forgot to delete it after I did it, I don't know. What's more important to horror films? That they're scary, that they're gory, or that they have a good story? Ideally, a good horror film has at least two of these three components. It's good, got a good story and good gore, or good story and good scares, or good scares and good kills. Now, in a traditional film, you would want likable characters as well. But in a horror film, especially a slasher, you really don't want likable characters because you're rooting for the killer to brutalize them. And if you like the characters, you're going to be disappointed when they die. Because you're like, oh, I wanted them to live, but cool kill. So that can be a mixed bag. Obviously, you want to like the final girl, which you don't always. Sometimes she's like, you pick a girl, oh, that's the character I want to survive, that's my final girl. Oh, she just got her head cut off. Wait, that loser that did nothing for 45 minutes is the final girl? What the fuck did she do? So it's hit or miss. They usually refer to that as the so-called false protagonist. An overused trope started with Psycho. And prominently, notably used in Scream as well. But it's been used elsewhere, and I would say it's overused. As far as I'm concerned, I do want a horror movie with a good story. But if the story is going to be less than stellar, at the very least, give me good kills. And if you can give me some good scares at the same time, then I'm pretty goddamn good. If your movie has no kills whatsoever, no gore at all, but it's terrifying to watch and has a compelling story, that's equally as enjoyable. Now, which do I prefer? Good story with good scares, or no story but good kills and good scares? Obviously, the second one. I like slashers, so what are you going to do? I gotta go eat breakfast. My stomach is growling, so that's all I have for today. Stay cool.